All right, let's go across to Nidhi now. So, Nidhi, among the new faces we're told now a confirmation that the former Foreign Secretary is going to be part of Prime Minister Modi's new government.
Well, this is an interesting choice. Mr. Jaishankar, of course, has been India's Foreign Secretary. In fact, was someone who also got an extension by Mr. Modi to continue as Foreign Secretary. He's had a very distinguished career and retired earlier this year and decided to take up a job in the private sector with the Tatas. But Mr. Jaishankar, as I said, has had a terrific career. He has been India's ambassador to the United States. He has been India's envoy to China. He served in these crucial postings. He was in charge of the America's desk when the India-US nuclear deal came through during Manmohan Singh's government, and was one of the key negotiators with the United States for that 123 agreement, as it was called, which facilitated the nuclear deal between the two countries. So Mr. Jaishankar has been a very, very key strategist for the Modi government, particularly, of course, on the foreign policy front as Foreign Secretary. He's been a very powerful Foreign Secretary, driving much of India's foreign policy behind the scenes as a very powerful bureaucrat. There was some buzz earlier for months now, actually, that he could perhaps be an advisor to the Modi government in some form, or that he could even get the NSA's post. But that speculation has been put to rest now with this news that he's going to be a Minister of State in the Modi government, and I would suspect that that would be in the External Affairs Ministry, which is, of course, the role that is best suited for him. Under him, we also saw India's outreach to Arab countries, to the UAE, to Saudi Arabia, and those have been some of the landmark achievements actually of the Modi government. You've seen these Islamic countries, these Arab countries really sort of coming as one with India on issues of terrorism. In the isolation of Pakistan, you had the Organization of Islamic Conference inviting India to speak at the OIC for the very first time. And Dr. Jaishankar has been sort of, at the forefront of all of that. He's played a key role in India's relationship with the US, with Japan, and of course, as I said, has been envoy to China. So his understanding of China and its complexities has been an important foreign policy driver as well. So certainly a very interesting choice for Mr. Modi's cabinet, and a good one. It would be good to see Dr. Jaishankar in a ministerial role.
And talking about foreign policy, of course, Nidhi, the question of the foreign minister, we have Sushma Swaraj. She didn't contest this time. We know that she's gotten a call and she's supposed to be part of the Modi government. But what are the questions? What are we hearing about the foreign minister's role?
Well, I'd rather not hazard a guess as to who's going to get which portfolio, because frankly with this government you just never know. So if Sushma Swaraj is indeed going to be taking oath this evening, I think many people would suspect that she would continue as foreign minister, but that's not necessarily the case. Like I said, Mr. Modi can surprise all of us and give her a different portfolio. But if she does, again, she's somebody who's really made a mark as foreign minister over the last 5 years. She stood out particularly because it's not an easy ministry to handle. This is a ministry that the Prime Minister himself has been so interested in, and with Mr. Modi himself, in a sense, driving foreign policy and being at the forefront of it, Sushma Swaraj managed to sort of create her own space, particularly by her outreach towards Indians around the world, helping Indians in distress, people of Indian origin in distress, and she used Twitter very effectively to do that, and also really got Indian missions abroad alert, to sit up and also be far more alert online to complaints that came forward. So what has been her trademark is how in the last few years she was able to solve the problems of ordinary people, whether it was somebody who was stuck in some country because the flight was cancelled, someone who had lost their passport or had their passport and money stolen, someone whose family member may have died who needed to bring a body back. There are so many issues on which she has intervened and used social media very effectively to do that. So if she does continue as foreign minister, I think many would be very happy to see her do that. But we'll have to wait and see what Mr. Modi decides, because you really never know, as they say, till the lady sings.